Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Canadian Rational Investor. Actually, this is the Rational Investor, excuse me, the rationalinvestor.co. I'm Brian Beamish, your Rational Investor, and I'm up here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So that's why you see the Canadian part of the name. Long and short of it here, as all of our school participants are well aware, we always want to try and act as rational investors in the marketplace. And if you want to learn more about what that is, feel free to dig into the tutorial material, or even maybe consider joining the school. But let's get on to the analysis here, because actually have a tutorial that I have to do here in about 15-20 minutes. So you guys have no choice. It's going to be a little bit shorter summary here for you. Long and short of it here, when we look at our BTCE, of course, we've been talking lots about how higher time frame, that's this huge green box. We're basically in the area where I think institutions will be net buyers. And then if we look at the rally from the spring lows there at 340 and the correction off of those highs, we did break those lows. Is this a real bar? How much validity is there to this actual breakdown? Only time will tell, but because it's actually happened as a trader, I just have to respect it. And what it probably means, when you get this kind of injection of volatility, it probably means I'm just not going to be trading BTCE because it's just not there. So big meltdown. We had dead cat bounce. And even off of this massive range here, 38.2 is 446.30. And then, a retracement from the lows and the highs, 38.2 is 445.54. So I think that that's really acting as a magnet at this point, and an OTE sweet spot for that trade is way down here at 350. What's happened recently here? Is, like we said, we had this dead cat bounce basically off of these lows, right? Bang, bang, right up into resistance. And then we put in a nasty little double top breakdown here. And what's really interesting I find on BTCE is, if you draw this trend line going all the way from the peak here, you'll notice that that's basically what the market's been playing off of now for really since this high here at 600 and change. And I think that's the is that the year to day high? No, that was the March high, right? No, I beg your pardon. It was the year to date high. Yeah, back in January. So clearly that's exerting some serious influence on the market. And I know a lot of people that like to swing trade, just basically away from the mean. And I was talking about this the other day, where far moves away from this trend line here, or buying opportunities, market comes back, you liquidate, moves above the trend line on fails, or selling opportunities, back to the trend line, liquidate, same thing. Moves away from the trend line, huge opportunities, back to the trend line, liquidate, right? So we threatened, and really when you look at this trend line in detail, you can see the price action, the double top, yes, it was a double top fail, an M fail, but it was right on this trend line. Look how we're just playing off of this trend line. So on the daily basis, we really haven't done a heck of a lot here, right? You could argue draw OTEs this high down to this low, and it probably gives you a shorting window somewhere up and around the 510 area. There's the 30 SMA on the BTCE, so not a big surprise. Maybe we get a counter trend rally bounce back up into resistance. For those lower time frame participants, and site members, I've been squawking like crazy about all of the trade setups off of this. And when I do the members video later, we'll take a look at the lower time frames on BTC, and you can see that there was a trade setup there. Really sloppy. I mean, the place where the setups came in, which were absolutely beautiful, was if we look at OKCoin. And you guys have heard me talk about OK recently, right? And if you guys have been following my Twitter feed, I've just been going crazy about OK. But you can see, I mean, this is just beautiful price action in here. Now I think we've probably hit some upside resistance. If we start drawing fibs going the other direction, there to there. And this is an hourly chart, right? So I'm just giving you guys a sneak peek at what I'm doing here on the intradays. So actually I should put this away because we don't have a lot of time. Anyway, the point of the matter here is that there has been some really good long opportunities. And I've been participating and tweeting and members posting in blogs and stuff about one particular setup I took here recently, this dark coin. We're long from like down in here, this area, which I think is not bad if you can risk against these lows. And our ultimate target is basically a test of these highs. And really you can see this bull ABCD, which paints a target up in here, which is basically double our purchase price. So this is the trade as it's going. This is the kind of stuff we talk about in the members video, just to give you a nice little sneak peek treat. Okay, so back to our BTC and Phoenix. As it stands right now, bearish market structure, dead cat bounce into resistance. I don't think YouTubers should get too excited about the current price action. However, I will say, hopefully, we're heading into an institutional order block here, right? This big down bar. We often say that these wicks like to be nibbled on. The tails like to be eaten. So we'll see how this develops and whether this turns into some sort of long-term turn. But at the present, it's just simply a dead cat bounce. All right, if we pop over to Phoenix, here's Phoenix's daily chart. And of course, without this insanity on BTCE all the way, I mean, look at what happens if I want to take the whole price action into scale. All the way down to there. I mean, this is just a mess. If we look at the other exchanges, right, they look a hell of a lot better, thank heavens. And hopefully this is just a BTCE anomaly and the other exchanges will prevail. So if we look at Stamp, if we look at Phoenix, if we look at OKCoin, like I was showing you just there briefly, these bottoms, you'll notice that price action here, we have this massive daily bottom, right? This is the OTE range for the entire range, right? And then we also have this OTE range of just this spring rally. So, I always have an adage, right? Whenever you can layer OTE areas, that's very powerful stuff. So it really shouldn't surprise us to see that, there is a serious battle going to be waged here, right? No doubt about it. And one might argue that, if you took a look at the individual price points on this chart, we might actually be setting up a really cool little harmonic pattern. I'm thinking, I don't know the numbers, just, I'm just eyeballing this, but it almost looks to me like this is a Gartley. That's certainly not 61, so it can't be a Gartley. But maybe it's like a bat or something, right? And so if you get this kind of pattern, harmonic pattern, and we get some sort of bullish reversal here, this might actually set up, a pretty sexy trade. I mean, here's the OTE right up in here. We've seen how these harmonic patterns play out in the past. They can lead to pretty explosive moves. Now, having said that, I think it's still a little bit early for us to get super bullish, right? I think we're exploring the OTE range, and it doesn't surprise me. We had this bear ABCD target on Phoenix, bang, 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 bang. So it doesn't surprise me that the bears took profits in this area. And just the simple fact that it was OTE, I think is enough case for some people just to go and pull the trigger and get long, institution-wise. The public, they're not there. If anything, the sad part about it is the public selling into these events. They're panicking and they're getting out. The interesting thing, right, for the institutions who want to buy the OTE, the only way they can get filled in size, right, because they buy in size, that's what institutions do, the whales, as we like to call them, they got to get some sort of panic selling, right, whether it be margin call related, whether it be swaps and all that kind of nonsense, whether it be actual fundamental news driven, which maybe a sell on the rumor, buy them back on the news, right? But anyway, they got to get the volume in the market, and I think that's what they did here, right? They got the weak hand retail people to balk and dumped their coins, and they got filled in size right at exactly the area where they want to be long. So that's a really interesting commentary, eh? I mean, somebody earlier today pointed out, the price action right now is looking very similar to your trade of the year setup here earlier this year. I would say yes on Phoenix, and I think it's still a bit early. If my hunch is correct, we're probably going to be doing this a bit, for the next little while, and then break out. There's 38.2, right? We've always talked about how 38.2 is our arbiter, right? So if we're lucky, maybe we get a nice little double bottom and a double bottom, which sets up, our nice rally up into OTE short zone. But it's still early. I mean, it's constructive. I mean, you can see today's rally is not on, monster volume. I mean, it's constructive. You can see OBV here is trying to bottom. If it does actually put in the bottom, and again, like we said, that's constructive. We still have this massive momentum divergence that we're trying to clean up here. You can see we're starting to try and put in a bullish divergence. If we can get up through this red line on momentum, then we do have a bullish divergence, and that's encouraging. Willie, not quite stupid, and just sort of waffling around here. This is a dangerous sort of no man's land. We're not overbought, we're not oversold. We just had a market breakdown, and so basically I would argue kind of very similar to BTCE. And for the members video, we'll take a look at the intraday charts and give you an idea of what I think is going on there. But really, the rally peak was all the way up there. You can see here's 38.2, right? So not a big surprise that we stalled there. There's the 13 EMA. And OTE short sweet spot here up sitting at just above 500, and there's the 30 SMA, right? So not a big surprise. I would still call this dead cat bouncy. We're still putting in these V bottoms, right? Whereas the tops are M, so market structure is still bearish. But it's encouraging. Maybe we're starting to turn the corner. I feel pretty good about BTC of late, and I'm constructive. I don't have a trade set up for you YouTubers yet. And given the condition, the current situation of this silly BTCE chart, I'm gonna take this side of caution before I start getting really aggressive on this exchange. So as a result, the PAM account may just sit there for a little bit yet. Does that mean that I'm completely inactive? Absolutely not. Like I said, I'm doing lots of fun intraday trades, and us in the member section, we're just having a blast because there's, I got one little altcoin here, and it's just embarrassing. I mean, the damn thing just keeps going up. It just will not stop going up. I mean, what the hell are you supposed to do? I bought this. It's sitting right now at 47. I bought this at 7 ticks. I've got an order sitting working to sell some more at 56, which represents, what is that? That's a double, no, it's more than that. Double, triple, quadruple, right? 400%. I've got an order to sell some up here. And it looks like the SOB is getting ready to break out again, so go figure. All right, so I think I'll leave the YouTube video at that for today. Lots of fun going on in crypto land. That's the great part about this. Never a dull moment. And the great part about all the stuff that we learn in the School for Bitcoin Trader Development is it's directly applicable. I see students just kicking ass in the market. They're just doing awesome. For anybody out in the YouTube audience, you should be aware, I want to limit the program to 18 participants for October Q4 program going into the end of the year. And we have 14 reservations right now. So there's only 4 spots left. If you are interested in getting in on the program, I suggest you get in touch with me sooner rather than later. Okie dokie, that's it for today. Everybody have an awesome day. Have an awesome crypto day. And, be sure to keep watching because this is a pretty fun stuff. So we'll talk to you guys real soon. All the best and bye for now.